The cost of living crisis, what is it? Things are getting pricier. It's like that moment you realize your favorite snack got smaller, but the price stayed the same. Except it's everything. That's the cost of living crisis in a nutshell. Your money just doesn't stretch as far. Remember when filling up your gas tank didn't feel like a bank loan? Yeah, those were the days, but seriously, inflation is a big part of this. In the UK, it's sitting at 2.3%. That doesn't sound like much, but it adds up. Imagine a grocery cart full of stuff you buy regularly. Last year, it cost you £100. This year, £102.30. Those extra pennies are going somewhere, and it's not into your pocket. And it's not just groceries. Energy bills are giving everyone a good fright. Remember those price hikes after Russia decided invading Ukraine was a good idea? Well, buckle up, because bills are going up again. Ofgem, the energy regulator, says they'll be around £1,738 a year on average. That's with the price cap. Imagine what they'd be like without it. Probably something out of a horror movie. Here's a fun fact. British households owe £3.7 billion in energy debt. That's billion with a B. Let that sink in for a moment. It's like everyone collectively forgot to pay their electricity bill for a month, except it's way worse than that. The government has chucked £500 million at the problem, which sounds like a lot, but spread that across millions of households, and it's less of a safety net and more like a flimsy napkin. And here's the kicker. Even with this help, our energy bills are still 40% higher than they were before the whole Ukraine war mess. It's like trying to put out a bonfire with a squirt gun. The worst part? Experts say these high prices are here to stay. Geopolitical uncertainty, like the return of you-know-who in US politics, doesn't help. Thanks for nothing, 2025. Remember when owning a home was the dream? Now it feels more like a fantasy, like unicorns or affordable avocado toast. House prices have gone bonkers and rent isn't far behind. In the UK, rent has shot up by 8.7% in the past year. That's like your landlord suddenly deciding they deserve a hefty raise, and you're footing the bill. And don't even get me started on mortgages. Those interest rates are climbing faster than a squirrel on a double espresso. The average 5-year fixed rate is now 5.26%. 5.26! Remember when it was below 2%? Pepperidge Farm remembers. The sad reality is, for many, owning a home is slipping further and further out of reach. It's enough to make you want to live in a van down by the river. Except wait, gas prices, remember? So what can you do in this financial hurricane? First, don't panic. Easier said than done, I know, but seriously, take a deep breath. Now let's look at your budget, and by budget, I don't mean that dusty spreadsheet you made once and promptly forgot about. I'm talking about a real, honest look at your income and expenses. Next, prioritize. What do you absolutely need? Food, shelter, internet access. Because let's face it, that's basically a necessity these days. What can you cut back on? Those daily lattes might seem essential, but your wallet might disagree. And hey, remember those subscription services you signed up for and never use? Time to say goodbye. It's not about being cheap, it's about being smart. It's about weathering the storm and coming out the other side, hopefully with a few pennies still in your pocket.